How's it going, everybody? Dan Gordon here. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a tutorial on one of the best bodyweight movements that exists, which is the back lever. And the reason that it's so powerful is because you're purely just using your own body weight as resistance. Your whole body is having to work, although it predominantly is the back lever, so you're going to be focusing a lot on your back muscles, even your biceps, but your core comes into play significantly, even your legs and your arms. And it's, in my opinion, again, it's been one of the best movements I've found to actually help build the biceps, because when you actually end up in a back lever, especially if you're twisting your arms in a certain way, which I will show you, essentially holding yourself in that lengthened position of a bicep curl. Most of muscle growth occurs in the stretched position, the lengthened position of a movement. So when you hold a position like this, you're building an incredible amount of muscle. Your body is under tension the whole time. I found it to give significant bicep growth. There's going to be a few prerequisites that you need before you're able to do an effective back lever. What I'm doing today, I'm using gymnastics rings. I'm out in nature, I've hooked them up to a tree. This is actually one of my favourite spots, Sallybudgera Valley in the Gold Coast, Australia. I find them really easy to use. If you haven't used them already, they're an absolute game changer. They're definitely something that you should be purchasing. They're super cheap. I've had these ones for 8 years. Bought them when I lived in England, bought them on Amazon for something like £30. Lasted this whole time. The reason that I prefer to use gymnastics rings is because they move with your body, whereas if you're doing a movement on a bar, which is also great to do, but the issue with doing it on a bar is it's a fixed position. It's fixed, you can't move, there's no movement with your wrist, whereas with the gymnastics rings, obviously you can turn with the movement, which I'll show you. Now, a few things that you're going to probably find useful to help you achieve the back lever, and there's progressions and stages that we can go through to help with that. Really, you want to be able to do at least 5 pull-ups, because it is a movement where you are holding your body and holding a lot of weight in a fixed position for a period of time, whether that's a few seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is. You need to get comfortable with things like leg raises. You need to get comfortable with a static hanging leg raise. Now, there's a few ways to get into the back lever. One of the best ways to do it is to start in a movement called skin the cat, which in itself is an amazing movement which helps with a lot of strength and shoulder mobility. Hang on to the gymnastics rings like this, or imagine if this was a bar as well, you could use a bar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my knees up and my hips. Now, if you haven't done this before, using a little bit of momentum is going to be okay. You can go like this. So just kicking your body up in that position. Hold on tight, of course. Sometimes for the grip, you might find it useful using chalk if you're struggling with your grip. But you can either use momentum like this, or you can turn it into a strength move and you can purely use strength. So I'm keeping my knees tucked and I'm lifting my hips up and I'm spinning around like that. And I'm going back. If you're new to this, you're going to find that this will make you feel quite dizzy, but it is something that you get used to. Get comfortable with being upside down. Get comfortable with these movement patterns. Start by kicking your legs up if it's easier. You might find that you can only get to here, and that's fine, and you'll find that that's hard enough to keep your arms straight when you're doing it. But in the early stages, if you're finding it easier lifting with a little bit of your arm power as well, then that's going to be okay as well. The key with a lot of these movements is it's just getting your body used to the positioning of the exercise, and a lot of it is just purely repetition. Especially with this kind of movement, you have to look at it as a skill, meaning that you're not training necessarily to the point of failure. Whereas, let's say if you were doing bodybuilding and you're strictly aiming for muscle growth, you're going to be training to the point of failure. Whereas with this, we just want to teach our body to get really, really good at the movement pattern. And the way that we do that in the best possible way is by doing it continuously with a lot of repetition, but going to around about 80% of your maximum capacities. We're getting comfortable with skin the cat. We can go up and down quite easily, and you'll find you might even just be able to get to this point and you just haven't got the flexibility. So with a bit of time and practice, again, that flexibility will come. But again, for the exercise that we're working towards, which is the back lever, it's okay. So just go to where you can. The next step, we're going to start with extended arms again. If you find it easier to have a slight kink, a slight bend in your elbows to use a little bit of your bicep strength as well, that's okay. So we're going to lift up, and we're going to lift our legs up like this. So I want you to just hold in that upside down position. So remember, we're doing this, lift our legs up, and we're going to keep our body completely straight. So what I want you to be focusing on in this position is squeezing all parts of your body. So you squeeze your feet, your glutes. I'm activating my back. You're getting used to being in this kind of static position. Now, this will make a lot more sense as we evolve to doing the back lever, because as we do the back lever, we want to keep our body completely vertical, completely straight. And like all of these advanced movements, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if there's any weak points in your body, it's just going to crumble and you won't be able to hold that position for very long. So what we're doing here, we're getting comfortable in this static position upright, and that is going to take a little bit of time, energy, patience to get used to that position. But you're going to find even in that position, your whole body is working, and I'll guarantee you'll probably find that you're going to be a little bit sore if you're practicing that a few times. What we're going to do now, we're going to focus on what's called the negative phase of the movement. And to make the movement a little bit easier, there's a couple of different ways that we can do it, and I'm going to show you. Try all of these different methods. I'm not saying that you need to do everything I'm saying in a step-by-step process. I think one of the key things to do with learning these movements is to experiment and to try many different ways. Like, that's the beauty, especially with calisthenics, bodyweight movement. It's the art of play, the art of experimentation, and just moving your body in all these weird and wonderful ways. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a kind of skin the cat sequence here, and I'm going to show you first because it's going to make more sense as I'm doing it. From the side, I'm going to kink my elbows to make it easier, and I'm going to get into this position like that. As you can see, I'm hanging upside down. My knees are really closely touched to my chest, and I'm just going to play around with this movement here. You can probably see where this is going, because you're going to be able to now slowly start to extend legs. Again, this is just one part of it, so experiment with this movement in terms of the hand positioning with the back lever, especially on gymnastics rings. Now, to start with, you should very much be doing a neutral grip. You'll find it a lot easier. So that's holding your hands in this position here. But if you want to get maximum bicep growth whilst you're doing the movement, and you'll find this a lot harder when you do this, but you'll also find that your bicep is under a huge amount of tension, so you need to be careful with it as well, and don't push it too much, because there's going to be a lot of pressure on the tendons and the joints as well. Doing this one, it causes huge bicep growth, and all you're going to be doing is, instead of holding this position when you're going into the back lever, you are then twisting your hand like that. Play around with it. Kink, do it extended arms, do it with kinked arms. I'm in this position, I'm playing around, my knees are tucked. Now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to open my legs, so I'm going to straddle. So you can see I'm straddling my legs now, and I'm bit by bit, I'm lifting legs out at a time. So I'm experimenting with straddling my legs, rocking back and forward, getting comfortable in that movement, and then also straddling the legs one at a time, because when I open my legs out rather than keeping them straight, it actually lowers the resistance. It's actually a bit easier. Now I'm here, I'm messing around, my legs are out, one leg at a time, and that's enough. Following on from that, what we're going to now practice is the negative, the lowering phase from that top position. I get up into here, and with my arms, I'm keeping my arms straight. I'm keeping them in this neutral hand position here, and I'm going to open my legs, squeeze my glutes, look forward, and I'm going to lower. Just going to lower down like that. At first, when you try that, you're going to find that you drop like a sack of shit. It's going to happen quickly. Hold on tight. Just remember to keep very mindful to engage the glutes. Squeeze the glutes and thrust the hips. That's going to allow us to keep that really strong fixed position. Bit by bit, it might happen in a second. You might drop in a second, but the next time you try it, you might be able to do 2 seconds. You might be able to do 3 seconds. And what is going to happen, again with a little bit of practice and consistency, is you're going to aim to start lowering up to anything from 10 seconds, even higher than that. There's no limit, there's no real rule with this. I would definitely just say play around with it and experiment with different times. And then the goal is we want to be able to lower ourselves to then hold in this fixed position. The beginning, it'll be 1 second hold, then 2, then 3. You can see what I'm saying here. Practice, repetition, and just keep a note of your times. Like, what I found really effective, especially when I was learning, is to actually write down what I was doing, you know, count it in my head and then note down, I did a 5 second negative today on the date. So then when you do it tomorrow or the day after, you can just increase by 1 second. If you keep increasing by a second every single week or every other day, you can see it's going to happen quickly. And the beauty with the body is that the body learns really quickly. If you are literally patient with it, you know the end goal, you can see it in your mind, you know how it's going to look. If you just follow the steps to achieve that, it will happen eventually. And the other variation that I would do would be to do a negative but with bent knees. So I'm upside down, I'm holding in a fixed neutral position, and then I'm just going to lower my body, keeping my knees tucked, as you can see, and I'm down. So try that again. Tuck knees. And then lowering my body. And then in this position you might think, alright, fuck it. Oh, one leg out. Ah. Play around with some of the feet. Kick the feet out. And this is what I'm saying. Try all these different methods. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go from the negative into a static straddle back lever. So I'm up, squeezing the glutes, and I'm lowering down, my legs are open. And here I go, I'm holding. Yeah. Done. Try it close to start with, and then just try both. I'm not one of these people that thinks it has to be in a certain order or a certain routine. I think you should mix and match all these different methods to help with the back lever. And that's it. Now just some final additional training tips and techniques on this one. If you're doing this in conjunction with other bodyweight movements, so if you're focusing on your pushing strength, you know, different variations of push-ups, different handstand variations, different core movements where you're really building a lot of core strength, different movements for your legs. If you get stronger with all the different movements, it's going to help with these advanced movements too. The best tip would be to also gain strength in all other parts of your body to ultimately help you with this, because if you've got a strong core, it's going to help you with this. If you've got strong glutes, it's going to help you. If you've got a strong chest, it's going to help you, because you are still holding and you'll find that your chest is working. This is why back lever is one of the most ultimate strength movements that you can do, and it will build strength in all areas of your body and help you gain muscles that you didn't even know existed. Okay, now I hope you found that useful. Key things: be consistent, be patient, and practice. And it will all come. If you're doing this regularly and you're consistent with your training program, there's a high chance that you will be able to achieve at least a straddle back lever 3 to 6 months of practice if you're doing all the right steps. If there's any other questions, if you've got any comments, please leave them below. If there's anything else that you want to see or any other tips that you might find useful to help you with some of these movements, again, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you want some extra training and you want to join part of my program to get more specific tailored training for you, then I'll have a few membership options on my main channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.